My name is Biorisk, and I want to use this opportunity to intimate you about our upcoming webinar on biosafety and biosecurity. This is a webinar that is organized very timely. Timely because there's no best time to be prepared for the next pandemic, the next outbreak, the next epidemic than now. In the most recent times, we've had several outbreaks: diphtheria, cerebrospinal meningitis, Ebola, COVID-19, and the most recent in Nigeria, anthrax. And many of these biological agents have potential to cause man. It's our duty to ensure that we are protected and we ensure that our community is equally protected. And we are part of this wave of progress to ensure that laboratory professionals, doctors, nurses, biochemists, epidemiologists are equipped with the right knowledge to protect themselves and protect the environment from valuable biological agents. Facilitating, and my colleague Biorisk will also be facilitating. Many of us have been involved in national and international training on biosafety and biosecurity. And we deem it fit that this knowledge should not just reside in our brain. So what do you stand to gain? You'll be learning a lot regarding biosafety and biosecurity. You'll be learning a lot about dual use research of concern. You'll be learning a lot about occupational health and safety. You'll be learning a lot about the AMP model, that's it, as an assessment, mitigation, and performance. You'll be learning a lot. There's just too much to learn. You'll be learning a lot about it. They will be painting a lot of case scenarios. We'll be teaching you a lot of things about protecting yourself within the facility, protecting the microorganism, access control, mitigation measures. You'll be learning a lot about how to assess biosafety and biosecurity practices in your facility. And so this opportunity has presented itself for us to be exposed to the wealth of knowledge and the wealth of opportunity that lies ahead in biosafety and biosecurity professional practice. We are happy to have you on board this webinar, and I'm telling you, you will not regret it.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to EHA Clinic's Lab Academy webinar. Thank you all for joining once again. As you all know, EHA Clinics is a JCI and an ISO accredited laboratory, ISO 15189-2012. And for the past 1 year, we've been bringing this educational content to improve the quality of practice of medical laboratory colleagues, both in Nigeria and the world over, to enhance the quality of our practice. We want to welcome you all to this webinar this evening. Today we'll be looking at Biorisk management. It's a Biorisk management awareness training, and we're privileged to have two guys I would consider experts in this field. I was privileged to be part of a training they did not too long ago for a Biorisk management training. They got this grant with from Sandia National Laboratories and thought that they should help bring up something for those who are privileged to be working in private laboratories. And we partnered with them, and we had a very intensive 3-day workshop by Mr. Jubril Karim and Adedamola Oyekole. Now, we tried as much as possible to see how we can compress that 3 days workshop. It couldn't happen in our usual 1-day webinars, so we had to have 2 days for this webinar. So we'll be doing the same thing like we're doing now, between 7 and at most 8:15 today and tomorrow. Now, the truth is that I do not think that it is possible to have a comprehensive cover of Biorisk management in this webinar, but would have enough content to get us started in pursuance of a more comprehensive knowledge in this area. like the video we just finished playing where Adedamola was making us understand that there's no better time to prepare for the next pandemic. Whether you like it or not, those of us who are either health workers or workers in healthcare settings are very predisposed. You know, we are the frontliners usually when there's an epidemic. So that is why we felt that this is an all-important webinar and training and knowledge to have, not just because of the certificates that will be given, of course, we will give that, but because of the knowledge that will be taken back with us here. Right, so I'll be handing over the stage to Mr. Karim, Mr. Jubril Karim. Mr. Jubril Karim is here. Mr. Jubril, can you, can we see your face? Can you confirm that your device is working well?
Okay, thank you, Obina. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Karim. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Obina and the EHA clinic lab team. This is a very wonderful opportunity for every Nigerian, and we are glad to be part of what you guys are doing, especially in strengthening our laboratory systems. My name is Jubril Karim. I work with National Agency for the Control of AIDS here in Abuja as a lab specialist on RSSH grants. Before now, I have the opportunity to develop my capacity in the areas that involve health system strengthening, part of which is a quality management system, as well as biorisk management, biosafety and biosecurity. Together with me on this webinar is my colleague Adedamola. Adedamola, can you introduce yourself to the team before we proceed?
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Oyekunle Adedamola, and I'm currently a senior laboratory specialist with the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, and I support mainly activities and interventions relating to laboratory quality management system, accreditation, integrated disease response and surveillance, and of course, biosafety and biosecurity, and mix many other too. So yes, I am happy to be here, and I'm sure that we'll gain a lot in this webinar. Thank you, all.
All right, thank you. I'll try to project my screen so that we can start the training proper. Obina, please. Okay, I think I'm permitted. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah, perfect.
All right. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are on this webinar going to be talking about biorisk management. And like Obina has said, the field of biorisk management is a very wide field. And we are going to be trying our best to summarize the introductory course on this webinar. The orientation package that we did the last time in collaboration with EHA clinic, he has said it, we did it in a 3 days physical training, and even with the 3 days, it's almost not enough. It gives us a very difficult task to compress the course into something we can deliver within 2 hours in 2 days on this webinar, but we'll try as much as possible to do justice to the topic. So when you hear biorisk management, what is the first thing that comes to mind is risk and the biological component of it. When we talk about risk associated with biological materials, the first thing that will be coming to your mind is either about terrorism or the use and application of biological agents in war and crime fighting. However, you come to realize by the time we go deeply into the course, that Biorisk does not only deal with biological weapons, it does not only deal with issues relating to using biological agents during war. So we have introduced ourselves as instructors. I will urge the participants to please type their names, where you work, and what you intend to gain from this training into the chat box, so that we know who the category of people that are on the webinar. However, it is our expectation that we'll have all categories of professionals that has something to do with laboratory work on the call. And we know that lab scientists, doctors, nurses, scientific officers, biochemists, microbiologists, we also have laboratory assistants and technicians, and we expect that on the webinar we also have people that provides logistic support to the laboratory environment, like the drivers that move samples around and the 3PL's logistics. We are going to be try to simplify the course in such a way that at least all the categories of people on the call will benefit immensely from the webinar.